Alabama versus Michigan in the Rose Bowl, the preview. Christian, why don't you tell me about the cheaters?
You know what, Chris? I have had about enough of you talking about Michigan this way, all right? You refer to them as cheaters. You can't even refer to them as Michigan. They're the Wolverines, the Big Ten back-to-back-to-back champs, if I'm not mistaken, right? And you have the gall and the wherewithal to disrespect them and call them cheaters. Now, did they break some rules on a technicality? Yes, they did, right? They got caught sign stealing. They got caught, earlier in the season giving out, hamburgers and cheeseburgers and all that. And we've talked about that, right? I'm going to be honest with you, Chris. This whole cheating thing it's overblown. And frankly, right, is a fan of college football, I think you're just giving more hype to the Michigan Wolverines at this point. You can say they're cheating. You can say whatever you want. Look at what happened to SMU back in the day. They got caught with the Pony Express giving kids piles of money, cars, everything you could imagine, and they got the death penalty. Were they doing anything different than what any other major program in college football was doing?
No.
No, they were not. And I don't think Michigan, for that matter, was doing anything different than what most major programs are doing. I mean, for that matter, hell, look, Alabama just went out and got one of their linebacker coaches that was dismissed after at the start of this year.
Christian,
yeah, go ahead.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing that there's plenty of teams out there that got caught or not caught, but do this sign stealing thing. I'm sure it goes on, but Michigan got caught red-handed, hand in the cookie jar, if you will. You got caught, man. That's why I gotta throw it out there.
So let me ask you this. So it's okay for a kid. It's not okay for a kid to go out and get a $5 cheeseburger bought for him by a coach. But pray to God, some NIL collective that's a workaround for pretty much a bunch of major institutions and in universities can go pay these kids millions of dollars to basically jump into a portal and transfer schools. We don't see the hypocrisy of that, yet we want to call these guys cheaters. They want to go out there and be the Bill Belichick's of the world, and they want to get signs and they want to do their advanced scouting and everything like that. I mean, every major person that has talked about college football, before has talked about this. And this goes on at every program. Now they got caught, yes, and it's a high profile thing, but I just find it very hypocritical.
Nah. You gotta tighten up your bridges over there, Christian. You're getting a little soft on me, almost like a cupcake anymore nowadays. But let's dive into this a little bit, though, Christian. Feel free and tell me about the Michigan Wolverines, if you will, and your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, Chris, here's the thing, right? Michigan's had a really good season, yet to lose. They've gone through, you touched on a lot of controversy up until this point. But, man, the defense has been really stout. I think the offense, the offense to me with McCarthy, it's not been his best year. He's had 19 touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns on the ground. Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards, I mean, they're still running the rock pretty well. Blake Corum, dude, has 24 touchdowns. I mean, look, I get it. The offense, to me, it's not very sexy. And what I mean by that is, the quarterback's not going to win a Heisman, right? It is what it is. In these big games, when we talk about Harbaugh, Chris, it's something we touched on earlier. He's 1-6 in bowl games, 0-2 career in the playoff games. It seems like the more bigger the moment, the more he starts to fold. He's going against one of the greatest coaches of all time who lives for these moments in Nick Saban. You're going to tell me a little more about it, I'm sure, here in a minute. But, I think for me, Michigan, this is exactly where they want to be at, right? They want the redemption. They wanted to run it back. Really, I think, truthfully, they wanted to beat Georgia. That was their whole off-season chance. So they're going to get a chance to beat the people that beat my dogs. So tell me about Bama and why they're going to lose this game, Chris.
Not so fast, my friend. I'll tell you this much, though. Bama this year, let's be honest here. First 3-4 weeks of the season, we were on here, us included, I-80 boys, were pointing and laughing at Bama, saying this team might win, 8-9 games tops. The job that Nick Saban has done this year might be his best coaching job ever, in my opinion. Seriously, this team is not even close to as talented as some of the teams that he's had in the past. even teams that didn't win national titles, to be completely honest with you. But, man, they have come on strong the second half of the season. Jalen Milroe, they finally have used him the way they need to use him, running the ball, extending plays. The kid's a magician back there with his legs. He does throw a deep ball really well. Yeah, this is going to be a grinded out, tough. I would say this game goes back to like the 90s, honestly. It's just two smash mouth teams, physical lines of scrimmage, both sides of the ball. It's going to be a good football game, Christian. There's not much more I can add to Bama or you can really add to Michigan. We've seen them play a ton this year, both teams. This should be a really good game. I'm going to give you my prediction right off the rip here, Christian. I think this game is relatively low scoring in today's college football. And I thought about this a lot. We've had time to think about this game, talk about it. We listen to other stuff. Give me Bama, and they're the underdogs by a couple points in this one. Give me Alabama 24, Michigan 21.
Yeah, Chris, I'm going to take the same sentiment there. Give me Bama 24, Michigan 17. I think it's within a score here. And the reason I'm going to piggyback off what you said, playoff experience. Both of these teams have plenty of it, right? Gotcha. Both of them have plenty of it. But I just think, look, Michigan, until they prove me otherwise, which this could be the year they do it, and this could be the Bama team that they do it too. I find it really hard pressed to pick against Nick Saban in this matchup.